Hello and welcome back to A Better World. This is your host Mitchell J. Raven, and we're very glad that you're joining us again today. Today we're going to have another very interesting show. We have the authors of this wonderful compendium of information, this resource guide, about health in Manhattan in many different ways, from what you eat to where you live and where you work, how to make places non-toxic, how to eat healthy food, how to go for massages in the most unusual and unique of places. We're seated with Skreczko, who is a nutritional and health consultant for many years, the author of some other books related to the same subject. And we're seated also with Virginia Bell, who is one of the founders of one of the first health food restaurants in New York, Whole Wheat and Wild Berries. And they have come together to write this wonderful book, which is a very practical guide, as you will learn. And they have lots of fun stories to share with us as well. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
Sure, my pleasure. What gave you the original inspiration to do this book?
No one had done it before. All of this information about health and wellness in New York City, and you read about it in Time Out or New York Magazine or in New York Naturally, but no one had put it in one place before.
It's like it was not only all over the place, but a lot of what you found out there was paid advertisements too. So we wanted to put something together that we truly loved and liked as far as the places and just the blending of the mental, physical, spiritual, emotional balancing too.
Yes.
And it's the kind of thing that we love to do. I mean, Lynn and I love to go to spas and restaurants. So, you have all these notes and all these articles and stuff, and I thought, God, wouldn't it be great if it was all in one place?
Oh.
And then it was so
It's
hard.
so useful
But listen to this.
for us.
Yeah.
It was so hard going to get a facial one day, a manicure, pedicure another day, having a glorious meal at some of the most exotic places that's so healthy for you. It was such a difficult project.
Terrible job someone had to do it.
Really?
That's exactly it.
We sacrificed.
I understand. Well, we all want to thank you here at A Better World. Now it's a grander world because of what you've done.
In a better world.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you have gone through all Manhattan.
Absolutely.
And found what you would consider
the best of the best.
healthy
We didn't
restaurants.
put places in there that we didn't love. We wanted to give a good overview of health and wellness in New York City, so we put the best of the best, basically.
Now, what do you think, Virginia, is on a scale of 1 to 10, say, for all of the United States? I mean, maybe you don't know the answer to this. I don't know. How does New York rate in terms of having a healthy profile?
I would say very high, and it's not just because I love New York City, because it's true we have more pollution, more noise, more aggravation, more stress, but we have more solutions to that stress. That's the thing. That's one of the reasons we wrote this book, was there was just so much available here in the city. I mean, you just look in the book, there are like 60 restaurants, 50 health food stores, I mean, all the spas, all of that. Where do you have, what city, just because of the size? And because people are interested. I mean, New Yorkers are incredible. Come on, we work all day, we do everything, and we go to the gym. There's some gyms in there and some health clubs that are open 24 hours. I mean, come on, health food stores that are open till 11, 12 o'clock at night. Only New Yorkers, right? Only New Yorkers.
Crazy, but exciting. I have different friends in key areas, like in Chicago, in Los Angeles, and all over. And the feedback that they've given me is this is absolutely the best. They still feel, even if they're living out there, this is still the best city, and we have the best of everything here. Gary Knoll, who I taught through his program for many years, the Gary Knoll Health and Nutrition Program, when we talked a while ago when we were getting quotes from people for the book and all, he said, do you know, he says, at my place in Florida, I still can't get the best of the food because it's shipped. The best of the best is shipped to New York. The organic is shipped to New York. He says, so New York really is the best place to be. And I totally 100% agree.
Isn't that interesting?
Very interesting.
Virginia, what is one of the most interesting places that you saw and got to experience?
Oh gosh, I love, for instance, we were talking before about the hot yoga, the Bikram yoga. It was so exciting because we went down there to take this yoga class in Tribeca, and it's a yoga class that is done in a room that's heated to about 100 degrees. And it's about 26 mostly standing postures that you do in this room that is heated. And you sweat. I mean, just the sweat pours out, but also the toxins, and you really do feel invigorated. That was an adventure, wasn't it?
It was a wonderful adventure. And you can feel your body kind of stretching to the next level because of the warmth. The warmth was very supportive. It was like it almost embraced you, you know? You have to make sure you drink a lot of water with the whole process, but...
During the class you drink
Yes,
water?
you do, yeah.
You're supposed to have water nearby at all times. But I found that I was able to stretch much easier. That's why I've carried... I experience it and I carry it to the next level. So every time I go to my local health club, I get into that steam room and I do the stretching. I do it I make believe I'm at that place in Tribeca, you know? And I feel like I can take it to the next level and the next level of, you know,
Sure.
it's exciting.
Well,
Yeah, that was a
I
fun thing.
had never heard of that until very recently.
It's well known. The man who started it is out in California, and he's called the Yoga Teacher to the Stars. But this studio, I think, is one of the only ones on the East Coast, and they may be more starting now because it's become quite popular here.
Well, it makes perfect sense. I mean, I've done
Right.
yoga for years, and one of the problems is that you don't have enough time to really warm up your
There you
tendons
go.
and ligaments
Yeah.
to do the stretching, you know, especially, of course, the hamstrings. And so you kind of miss out on a lot of the benefits because you have to spend so much time warming up.
Yeah, and there's another yoga
takes care of
actually called White Cloud Yoga, which we have in the book as well, where all the
We're
postures
speaking to
are
the authors of this wonderful book.
the postures are.
Manhattan
I'm
Health
sorry.
Please go on.
Postures are done in a flowing dance-like way. You're never doing holding a posture. You do it and then you stop. You do it and you stop. You're constantly moving in and out of it, and it's called White Cloud Yoga. And there is a whole other workout based on this that the man who started it does on handmade machines, on wooden machines like Pilates.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
they're on West
Yes,
End
and they've just
Avenue
moved. They're
and
downtown
East
now.
Side. Oh, they're
Yeah.
downtown.
And what it is,
Yeah, I
they're
popped into that place.
It's fascinating because they teach you to move your body in the way it was meant to be moved, in a circular motion, not like linear motion. And it actually does open up the joints and really stretches it out, and it's especially for dancers. It was started originally for dancers,
Right.
extends the life of a dancer.
And it frees a lot of blocked
Fabulous.
energy, you know, in the shoulders or the arms or the elbows. It frees blocked energy.
That was a fun class.
That was fun. Yeah, that must have been fun. What's nice is, I mean, the Nautilus equipment and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, it is very linear.
Exactly.
It's very
Yeah.
specific.
Right.
And it does not
It doesn't
move
give you that
the way
range.
the body moves at all.
Right. Where this totally
This is
does.
designed to enhance that.
And it actually
And support
also does a lot of healing on the organs as well. So, and especially for New York, I mean, we don't need another step class. We live in a step class. So for New Yorkers, and there's nothing wrong, the aerobic stuff is great, but the body-mind
However-
stuff, the Pilates, the yoga, the gyrotonics, it's much more suited to New York. We need to slow down a little bit more, get more in our body and out of our head.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Talking about getting out of our heads. Tell me about the hot stones.
Oh,
The hot-
I
delicious.
walked in there one day.
delicious, yeah, it's wonderful.
It
Yeah.
probably was one of the finest experiences I ever had in my life. The stones are from Tucson, okay, from that sacred river there.
Where they're going to
And-
be watching this show.
This is true. and the massage is done with oils and the stones and just beautiful atmosphere and lighting. But just think in terms of the sacredness of the energy of the stones, sacredness of the person doing it on you too. It's just, I felt like I've had many massages. I mean, I've gone for massages once a week for years. And I felt when I experienced that it actually released some kind of energy that I needed to have released, if you know what I mean, on a deeper level, that I was hiding it or something. And I walked out of there, I felt like I stood taller, like things were just opened up. And that was just from one session. And
Now, are they placing the stones on your
Yeah.
body?
Placing
They
the-
use the large stones almost like a heating pad,
Okay.
and to place on the body while then they're massaging other areas. So you get a good deep
Oh, okay.
massage. The smaller ones are used as an extension
Put
of
off.
the therapist's hand to get into
Also
the
getting
area.
into those trigger
As a
points.
tool.
Yep,
Getting
exactly.
to, like the shiatsu points or the
Sure,
trigger
sure.
points or the myotherapy points, getting in there on, in the shoulder areas or other areas or in the feet area. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah, that was another fun day.
Someone had to do it.
Right. Mille fleurs. How about that?
Oh.
You went there,
Fleur.
both of you?
Oh, we both.
Well,
Oh,
we used to go over the
we used
years.
to go there for a long time, right?
I'll tell you what I love about that. It's a wrap. They soak the towels in these hundreds of flowers, right, or 1,000 flowers, and then they wrap you mummy-like in the towels, and then they put this sheet over, blanket. To me,
It's like an herb wrap.
it's an herbal
An
wrap.
herbal wrap, but a wonderful way to sleep.
But for
Yeah.
me, I'm buying a nap. It is like
Yeah,
this
right.
quality nap that you
Yeah.
go off and you wake up and you're like, what century I'm in? And it does take a lot of toxins out of your body, but I love that nap.
Funny that you say, what century am I in? I went to Etia's. on
I
West
love
72nd
Etia's.
Street.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love Etia. She gave me an incredible massage. She's
Right.
very skilled, very well trained.
And
as a massage
diagnostically
therapist.
speaking also.
Yeah.
In terms of the
diagnose.
face.
Yeah,
and
that's
plate.
right. And, I got an herbal wrap. And I went there in particular because a friend of mine said that she had a near-death experience in the herb wrap.
I believe it.
I believe
she
that.
had a total change in her consciousness that occurred,
Yeah.
where she really felt she entered that nether state, So
That's
herb
great.
wraps
That's
are
exciting.
A nap plus, you could say.
Years ago, Virginia gave me one little appointment for a birthday. Not one little, she gave me an appointment for a birthday at Mille Fleurs. I was so enthralled. I signed up for what, 30? I signed up
Something
for
good.
30 things. I gave them a pile of them and I said, here, this is it.
Yeah, right.
And I went every week.
Sign me up for life.
Yeah.
Right.
It was
Why not?
wonderful.
Well, in New
Especially for
York,
us tourists,
yes, I love. But in New York, it's a necessity. I mean, our feet on the hard, on the concrete
pavement.
and the noise and everything. You just have to have those little things during the week, during the day that just kind of get you more centered. That's why the stone herbs are so great, because we're not as in contact with nature here. And if you go for a stone massage or an herbal wrap, think of it. It's a way of connecting with nature on some
Totally.
level.
And it's connecting with nature on a deeper, deeper level.
Yeah.
Right here in the middle of Manhattan. Concrete jungle.
Yeah.
That's right.
But that's why I love going to Chelsea Piers. I go there and you're on the health club there and you on the treadmill or you're on, doing the weights and you're looking at water. It's great that you're working out, but it's that water that is so healing.
You guys didn't know that I was the founder of something called the Center for Creative Wellbeing, which was basically
Wow.
a stress reduction center using flotation tanks. Using flotation tanks and sound.
Of course.
Yes.
Sound,
We did
In
all
fact,
that
that's when
stuff.
Henry Noah
yes.
and I originally got
Okay,
together
Right.
years
that's why
ago.
it sounds
Right.
familiar.
He
Yes,
kept-
that.
He came over and he saw everybody was having a great time. He said,
Yeah.
I want this,
Yeah.
And I started doing a lot of stress stuff for him.
Well, that flotation tank. Let me tell you
this
that.
was a very well-known place. And I used to deal with people just, coming off the streets of New York who were very weathered
Yeah.
and browbeaten by, the financial markets and
Sure.
you name it, their bosses. And they'd come out and it was so glorious for me.
Isn't it?
To
Yeah.
watch their faces go from, this to...
To what it's
And so
supposed
you
to
were living that,
Yeah.
because I was too, but
Yes.
in your own bodies,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it
God
was
bless.
fun.
Talking about such things, how about La Casa di Vita Naturale?
Oh yes, I went. And
Jane,
that's
right?
what's so incredible is that you can do a treatment there, and then for I don't know what they're charging now, a very small amount of money, add on a flotation tank
Yes.
experience, and again. It's a small investment for an incredible healing. I mean, in New York, to be able to lie in that water, in that darkness, in that environment. Oh gosh! I mean, it's not. It is a
Priceless.
necessity. Yep.
If you really want to get into the underneath all of this, is to say that what you two have brought forth is a real cure.
Oh, I like that, yeah.
It's a real cure to the ails, all that ails one in New York, and not just in New York, but
Yeah, any big
specifically
city.
in New York, and
Yeah.
pace the urban life, and to make an investment in the kinds of things that are available that you've delineated in here is so powerful, because this is real preventive medicine.
Absolutely.
You know, this
Yeah.
is it. This is the pill, you know, that
And
does
it's,
it.
and it's putting this pill.
So it's an incredible service that you're really offering, you know. And anybody would way rather spend their money getting a good hot stone massage, doing yoga, standing up in a steamy room and things like that.
Taking the oxygen, right? I'm
Taking
50 cents.
oxygen, you know, and
Yeah.
instead of giving it to a doctor in a hospital.
Why not?
Can you
Absolutely.
Imagine
Yeah.
for emphysema. I mean,
Well, it's
it
an
does not-
incredible
It's not
pill
exciting.
for a person to take charge of their own life and go out and de-stress in so many different ways.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Now, a whole other area that you two have gotten into in this book, and I know you're both very interested in, is the whole subject of toxicity in the home and toxicity in the office place.
Yeah,
Sick building
absolutely.
syndrome, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
big, very, very important, because we live in the diesel bus capital of the world. There are 5,000 of those diesel buses out there idling in traffic every day.
And I ride my bike behind them, I hate to tell
Yeah.
you.
And that's
I've been
what
dealing with this for a long time.
we breathe in a pint of air every 15 minutes, so it's 22,000 pints of air that we're breathing in every day. So you want some of that air to be good.
You wanted to have some oxygen.
Yeah, exactly. And then inside, the air quality is 2 to 5 times worse than outside. But there are lots of things that we have in the book, simple things that you can do to clean up the indoor
Such
air
as?
quality. Plants, right?
Yeah.
Plants, especially
absolutely.
spider plants.
One of the things we talk about a lot, and a lot of times we bring our show and tells, you know.
Spider plants have the greatest oxygen value.
Right. Spider plants and aloe plants are two incredible plants
Aloe
to
right over
put
there?
in your bedroom, to put along the windowsill in the bedroom. It helps to take the formaldehyde that could be in any of the
In the carpet.
curtains,
Exactly.
carpets, wood, the pressed wood or whatever that's in the bedroom that could be possibly there, and it just changes it into pure oxygen so you can sleep at night better. Or the carbon monoxide that's coming in from the outside. The aloe plants help to transmute that too.
Fabulous.
So that's a thing that people can do. I mean,
That really is. It's
yeah.
very
Not a big
immediate.
investment.
Right, investing
all.
in one really good set of 100% cotton, untreated cotton sheets. Simple. You don't have to do everything at once.
Right.
Small steps.
Increments.
Getting new pillows. Simple, you know. Throwing out the stuff underneath the sink costs nothing. Big, all the big improvement, all the old
the chemicals.
the paints, the old stains, the oven cleaners, all that stuff is marinating underneath there, and we're breathing it in, replacing personal care products. You know,
Not using
The-
normal
Yeah.
deodorant.
right, or the hairspray, things like that.
Right.
And then eventually it's like teaching people to live in a detoxifying lifestyle. So it's a mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, and your surroundings. And really being very aware of what you have within your environment that could be causing a drainage of your energy and not living up to your full potential of just being a being of light.
Well, you know, really, the office buildings, the design of office buildings in New York is an outrage.
Yeah,
There's
this
no air.
Well,
Yeah.
There's no
but
circulation
there's no
of air.
ventilation
What do you
system.
do about that?
Well, again, where you can. I mean, you can't pull up the carpet there,
Well, you
probably, you know. But you can add plants.
Yeah.
Full spectrum lighting, usually, you know, you can do that. Use aromatherapy. Do some
Ozonation.
Yeah, exactly. Some yoga
Air
stretches
purification.
at your desk.
Ozonation, HEPA filters, and ionizers. 3 incredible items to put in and around your work area and your work environment. It will clean up the air, but it will also help everyone to feel mentally alert. Everyone in their office should take and unscrew those bulbs and insert either a Chromolux rather, or a Vitalite, or a 7th generation bulb. Even the fluorescent bulbs,
They can be
the
replaced.
circular ones or the long ones.
Sure.
And many people that I work with, I have them look at everything in their life as far as feeding them health-wise.
Sure.
And they've gone into their environment at work and they've changed things, and everybody's noticed I feel, what's going on here? And then they fessed up. They said, okay, this is what I did. And then the management said, well, let me pay for this, which I think is quite fascinating, because if they went initially and said, look, I want to put in these lights, I want to put in these ionizers, they probably wouldn't have done it. But after they did it, they saw the results and said, what's going on here? How come everybody's happy here? How come the workload or the work efficiency, productivity went up 50%. I think that's pretty phenomenal.
At the beginning of Healthy Properties, as I told you, I was part of the beginning of it, and with Environmental Construction Outfitters, which is listed in this book, which is a place that you all should know about. One of the ways that we kind of sold the idea of eco-friendly living, whether it was in the home or the office, right? But especially in the office, but I, for instance, work at home, is that efficiency and productivity goes up. And one of the reasons is you've got more available oxygen to utilize for thinking.
And that full spectrum lighting and the oxygen all working
together. We live on oxygen. So exactly, and everything. I mean, it's an entire, you're dealing with electromagnetic fields, you're talking about formaldehyde from our standard construction materials.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot.
The upholstery.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and then it's also what you're eating and the exercise. I mean, it's how you're taking care of yourself outside the office that's going to affect your immune system while you're sitting there in front of the computer,
That's right.
So if you're exercising well and you're getting the circulation, I mean, that certainly is going to help, you deal with all that stuff. And the meditation.
That's right. In fact, stress does more to destabilize our systems, to eat up vitamin C, to create free radicals, to release adrenaline into the bloodstream. We don't really realize, I mean, everything's important, but stress is like a big thing of all things,
Sure.
It's under stressed. Can you say
Yes.
Stress
is
I know what you mean.
That makes total sense. I think
underemphasized.
one of the most important things that comes out of a lot of our lectures and that we do is that it's really guiding people to live just a healthier lifestyle. And with that, what you just said, bring it to the next level, is helping people to be more in the now, not getting worried and concerned about what I did or didn't do, but let's just be focused with just being here. It's like being here with you is the most important moment in our lives.
That's right.
That's a nice thing to say.
I'm very honored. Thank you. Yeah.
But you understand.
Absolutely do. Absolutely do. One of the great subjects in New York City, of course, is food.
Yes.
And eating. And so, as a tourist, fellow tourist.
That's the biggest chapter.
Tell us, what's the scene? I mean, you've been in the health food restaurant business for
I've seen
so
such
long.
incredible changes. I mean, when I started out and, Lynn did, as a vegetarian, what could you eat? A baked potato and some broccoli, and you were lucky to get it if they would give it to you in a regular restaurant. I mean, now you go anywhere and you get, organic greens and organic wine and free-range chicken. It is a different world. I mean, there are incredible natural foods restaurants, but even the finest restaurants, no matter where you go, whether the Four Seasons or the Gotham or Union Square Cafe, they have wonderful vegetarian choices and organic choices. They're
using organic food at the Four Seasons?
Well, they have spa cuisine. They're not organic, but they have spa cuisine. But a place like, for instance, the Cub Room downtown, that is a natural cafe, and on Thompson and Prince Street. They have the most elegant dining room there, and all the food is organic.
The thing is also the caringness that a lot of these restaurateurs are into. For instance, Henry Moore at the Cub Room, he has these farmers growing things specifically for him, organically speaking. So you can go in there with a nice group of people, and someone could be a vegetarian, someone else wants meat, someone else wants chicken, and you can get the best, which means I'm talking organic and fresh, and a beautiful atmosphere. So my husband and I love to go there for different anniversaries or birthdays and things like that.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, so the choices are a
lot.
lot.
Grows organic food in New Jersey, and he's been sending it to Windows on the World for years.
Really?
Wow, that's great.
Most people don't even know that.
Windows on the World.
That's great.
Of all places.
Fabulous.
So what are other, hot restaurants downtown?
Hot restaurants
Especially that
downtown,
you
let's
recommend?
see, well, Angelica Kitchen is wonderful, totally organic. Restaurant Urban Kitchen is fabulous, a lot of integrity there.
Zampa.
Zampa, the Tibetan restaurant, it's not
yes,
far
on
from...
Ninth
Fabulous.
Street.
Ninth
Yeah, it's
Street.
wonderful
sure.
atmosphere and
Absolutely.
food, and there's, again, a place where somebody can get chicken or fish or totally vegetarian, a glass of wine or carrot juice.
Tibetans aren't
It's
known
nice.
for their pure food. I mean, they're big on yak.
This is true. But this is a group of sisters that really got together to make
is
a
that what it
difference.
is?
It's a family.
It's
Oh,
a family.
really? I've eaten there. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not what I consider haute cuisine.
No, but it's a nice
But it's-
combination.
nice-
But it's nice.
And it's a nice atmosphere as well. It's,
Yeah.
it's
And the Candle Cafe uptown.
yeah.
Oh,
what
yes.
They're
lovely
fabulous.
people they are.
It's great.
They
It's a
really
great
are,
place. And their desserts are, everything on the menu is wonderful. And they're just,
Are there any live food, all raw?
there
kinds of places?
was
No?
one in the book and they closed and they may
Ozone.
be, and they may be opening and
And
they had some delicious
They
things
might
there.
be reopening and
Oh, yeah?
periodically.
In the ozone.
In the ozone. That's very good. But unfortunately, there just wasn't
Yeah, that
enough
just wasn't
people
enough.
around.
Because there's a
to-
place in San Francisco, if that's going to be your next place for
Hey.
food that look like
There
this,
we go.
called Raw. And in fact, they're supposed to be opening something in
Ooh.
New York. I spoke to one of the owners, and I tell you, I ate their
That sounds
chorizo.
exciting.
Ah,
Fabulous.
I
mean,
bet.
pizza and sushi, everything raw and, as they say, to die for.
Right.
or to live for.
Really? Yeah, exactly.
The ozone may have closed, but they still live on because we have some good
Yeah.
recipes that they gave us.
We
in
have
the
in the
book.
book, so.
Excellent.
And
excellent.
they're just scrumptious.
Oh, wonderful. You two are doing just a magnificent
Oh,
job
thank you.
in helping
Thanks.
to upgrade the consciousness
There
and
you
the
go.
awareness,
Thank you.
of health in the city on many different levels. I want to thank you both, really.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's great. This is a real service. It's a real service. Where can people get this?
Barnes and Nobles,
Oh, yeah.
Borders, but
Okay.
other places
Practically
too.
Every place listed in the
Yeah.
book that's a health store. Okay.
But on the Upper East Side, Candle Cafe has been selling these.
They
The
sell
Stone
these now.
Spas, a lot of the places in the book are selling. Kate's Paperie.
Fabulous.
Where else? Healthy Pleasures.
Lifetime.
Lifetime. Yeah.
Fabulous. Well, keep it up and
Thank
keep
you.
expanding it.
Yes.
Thanks.
Cities too.
Okay.
They need you.
Thanks.
again. Absolutely. This is Mitchell J. Rabin for A Better World. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed that and took some good notes. Really enjoyed that. Really did. So please give a call at 212-420-0800. Share your thoughts and feelings with me. I love hearing from you. I look forward to seeing you all next week.